Tonight on Cronkite News, thousands gathered in Tempe to run in remembrance of the late Pat Tillman.
Plus, the D-backs bats are alive for the first game of their week-long road trip.
And a company that has ties to the Valley takes a major hit on the stock market. Find out what sent the Dow plummeting. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Matt Ross.
And I'm Jacob Seaver. Thank you for joining us tonight.
We begin tonight with one of the most sought-after high school basketball players in the country, Koa Peat of Perry and Gilbert, who announced 3 weeks ago that he would play college ball at Arizona.
That's right, and today he made that official. And Brady Poplar was at a packed auditorium this morning at Perry High School and joins us now from the Sports Bureau with more on Pete's big moment.
This morning at Perry High School, basketball star Koa Peat put pen to paper as he officially signed his national letter of intent to play at the University of Arizona next season. The 6'8" forward was surrounded by friends and family, including his high school coach, Sam Duane, and a few teammates. Peat had arguably the most decorated career in Arizona high school history, winning 4 state championships and being named the Gatorade Arizona Player of the Year 3 times. Sticking close to home played a part in his college choice.
It's definitely an add-on for sure because you're right down the street from your house, but how I picked my decision was based on the coaches and how they're going to use me, how they're going to play me, the winning program they have. And it's just an add-on that is in the backyard of my state.
Enjoyed coaching you for 4 years. Think people look by because he plays with so much force. His IQ, the way he processes the game is at another level. So I'm wishing you all the best.
A joyful moment also for Pete's mom, Jana, who says she got him started playing the game in the driveway when he was 3 years old. Pete will be a big addition to the Wildcats and should make an impact right away. In the Sports Bureau, Brady Poplar, Cronkite News. Back to you guys in the studio.
2025 marks the 21st year of the tragic death of former Sun Devil and Cardinal Pat Tillman. Saturday was also the 21st annual Pats Run in Tempe, and our Cronkite News reporter Paisley Poole met the inspiring participants who crossed that 4.2-mile finish line in his honor.
Pat's Run is an annual fundraiser for the Pat Tillman Foundation, which supports military service members and veterans. At 7:05 a.m., when the first corral of runners broke through the tape, participants, regardless of their abilities, displayed their resilience.
It's really important that we keep it going and show others, get out here. Doesn't matter what you have. There's no hurdles. Walk, run, roll, doesn't matter. Get out of here.
With every stride, walk, jog, or even roll, the 30,000 participants and volunteers at the annual Pats Run all tell a different story, but they all are here for the same purpose, which is to honor Pat Tillman, a hero who sacrificed himself for his country.
Current service member, like ASU ROTC alum and now Lieutenant Jack Fruce, decided to complete the race in his 88-pound EOD-9 Army bomb suit with his helmet on.
I'm a big Pat Tillman fan. He has been my personal hero for years, so I thought it'd be really cool to come down here, take some leave, and run this race in his honor in this big old bomb suit.
Another participant who completed the race despite his diagnosis of early onset Parkinson's in 2021 was Mark Milo, and now he is an advocate for those facing the same disease.
I didn't want to go into my shells. I wanted to go out there and do something about it, and that's something I could do positively to impact the community.
2 decades later, Pat Tillman's legacy still touches the lives of so many people, and with his foundation for many years to come. In Tempe, Paisley Poole, Cronkite News.
The entire ASU football team was also in attendance at Pat's Run in a show of community support for the former Sun Devil.
And while Kenny Dillingham was enjoying Pat's Run, he also had his mind on the courts, namely a ruling that will fundamentally change college sports. As the transfer portal opened today, Dillingham was focused on a different kind of roster construction as he awaited the ruling of House versus NCAA. This settlement from the case will determine roster size and what revenue sharing will look like in college athletics.
The biggest thing for me is the House case, and what the roster limits are and what that looks like. I think that for me is a bigger deal than I'm worried about our own guys leaving.
At McClintock High School, a group of students are transforming lives one bicycle at a time. And I had the chance to visit the club to see how these students are learning new skills, but also making a difference. Every Friday afternoon, students at McClintock High School gather not just to learn, but to make an impact. In the back of the school, the bike club gets to work, fixing flats, adjusting gears, and refurbishing donated bikes.
I like coming to bike club on Fridays to fix up our bikes. They help lots of different people, immigrants, our own students. We donate a lot of the bikes we repair through McKinney-Vento in our district, and it helps a lot of people who need the bikes.
The club partners with the Welcome to America project, which assists refugee families who are resettling in Arizona. And once repaired, bikes are then donated to those who may need a way to get to school, work, or appointments.
The bike club is based on this idea of giving back to the Tempe community through bikes, and what we're doing, whether it's through the Welcome to America project with giving bikes to new community members. I think there's a really nice element to that where we're kind of helping transition people from out of state, out of country to life in Tempe.
We try to improve the infrastructure and safety for everybody in our community, whether that be for pedestrians, bikers, or just anybody using alternative forms of transportation.
Professional bike mechanics from around the valley volunteer their time to help guide students through the repairs. It's more than just a lesson in bike maintenance, it's real-world experience with a purpose. The club's community impact was recognized last year when they received the Tempe Bike Hero Award from the city.
All of us really just like helping people, and so it just helps us to put our time and effort and our knowledge to something that actually matters.
Whether it's tightening bolts or handing off a finished bike to someone in need, these students are proving that giving back can be as simple as spinning a few wheels. And what a great reminder that even small changes can make a huge difference.
That's right. If you happen to have a bike that's collecting dust, McClintock's Bike Club could be giving it a new life or maybe a new rider. Coming up next, one club at Arizona State is taking a fun summer activity to new heights.
That's right. Out on Canyon Lake, the waterski club at ASU is achieving things that most don't.
Takes more effort than people think, because a lot of people think about water skiing as just going on 2 skis behind your uncle's boat in the summer.
At the highest level year after year, and how they plan to continue the success for years to come.
Plus, the cool down is coming to the valley. Your 8-day weather forecast coming up next.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen. When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there in that moment. You know that you've reached them.
The Diamondbacks flew cross-country to kick off their road trip in Miami.
That's right, Jacob. And the Answerbacks didn't need to make an appearance last night as they set the tone from the jump. Arizona blasted 3 homers, including a second-deck grand slam by Corbin Carroll in the 6th, as they rolled to a 10-4 win in Miami. Carroll's bomb tied him for the second in the majors and made him just the second player alongside Aaron Judge to hit grand slams in 2023, 24, and 25. Geraldo Perdomo stayed hot with three-run shot, and Josh Naylor added one of his own as the D-backs lit up Lone Depot Park. The Diamondbacks are hot, winning 5 of their last 6 and holding a solid 10-7 record. But in the loaded NL West, that's only good enough for 4th place. Flip the map, and Arizona would be tied for 1st if they were in the American League. Still, with momentum building and the bats heating up, the D-backs are proving while they hang with anybody.
And back here in Arizona, the Grand Canyon University Antelopes drove down to Tucson to take on the Arizona Wildcats. The Cats made short work of the Lopes, scoring runs in every inning after the first, and they would run rule the Lopes in the 7th to end the night early in the non-conference game. Back up in the Valley, the Red Hot Lopes softball team played much better as they traveled across the Valley to take on the Sun Devils. The Lopes snapped the Sun Devils' 6-game win streak and held them scoreless while driving in 4 runs of their own, improving their win streak to 11.
Heading to the lake will become very popular around here as the weather in Arizona heats up. But Canyon Lake gets a lot of use this year-round as it is the training home for the ASU waterski team. Our Emily Schmier has more on how the Arizona club keeps themselves nationally ranked.
Just 1 hour outside of Tempe lies Canyon Lake. Although a focal point for Arizona visitors, it is also the practice location for the Arizona State University waterski team. Whether it's slalom, trick, or jump, the Sun Devils work year-round to keep their title as the #1 ranked team on the West Coast.
It takes more effort than people think, because a lot of people think about water skiing as just going on 2 skis behind your uncle's boat in the summer, but it really is more than that, and there's a lot of effort that goes into it.
Starting her journey at a young age, Abby Campfield fell in love with water ski after learning from her dad and competed all over the East Coast. Then 1 year ago, decided to move across the country and leave her family to join a new one. Now finishing her first season as a Sun Devil, Abby has learned from some of the best athletes in the world.
It's gonna take you to a lot more places than you think. You're gonna end up in probably the coolest places you could imagine.
Those places most recently included Auckland, New Zealand, where Federico Yamarillo and his sister Luisa competed at University Worlds and left crowned world slalom champions. Sharing more than just their last name, the ASU twins are emphasizing that win or lose, this is a family sport. Something Johnny Maitland echoes as he takes on a leadership role to inspire his younger sister, a potential future Sun Devil.
I want her to kind of have a team that's there, active, still kind of around in the community, and I kind of figured that the best way for me to do that would be kind of take that leap forward and try to become president.
Whether it's your bloodline or a new coastline, ASU waterski has connections as strong as their achievements. In Canyon Lake, Emily Schmier, Cronkite News.
The team is halfway through their spring tournament season and are working to stay ranked as #5 in the nation for yet another year. And speaking of water skiing, the weather is dipping down to a perfect temperature to get out on the lake.
Or it'll be the great weather for an Easter egg hunt, as Isaiah Soto now joins us from the Cronkite Weather Center with what we can expect for this Easter weekend.
Yes, guys, we're finally feeling some cooler temperatures here in the Valley when just last week we hit our first triple-digit day. But will this carry on to Easter weekend? Let's find out. But first, tonight's weather. As for this evening, things will be dropping down to the mid-70s with slight wind coming in from the southwest. And as we get into overnight lows, 61 in Phoenix, 55 in Casa Grande, 52 in Tucson. Now north of the rim, 32 in Flagstaff, 40 in Holbrook, and 40 in Payson. Now as we get into tomorrow afternoon, warm temperatures here in the state, 81 in Phoenix, 81 in Casa Grande, 81 in Tucson. Now in the northern region, 56 in Flagstaff, 60 in Payson, and 68 in Kingman. Now, of course, our 8-day forecast, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, things will be staying around the 70s with a chance of rain on Friday. Now, as we get into the rest of the week, things will be things will be heating up with, of course, Easter weekend being at 86. And of course, I have to show you this fun graphic for Easter Sunday, where temperatures will be at 86 and with a slight breeze, perfect for, of course, Easter egg hunting and, of course, having a picnic at the park. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Isaiah Soto.
Coming up next, a look at today's news headlines, including a big drop for the Dow.
Plus, survivors talk about the shocking statistics behind one aggressive form of cancer.
Helping to be that support to others has been just amazing.
One group is impacted more than any other by cancer, and how organizations are helping to fight it.
What Cronkite News means to me is opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized. Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite.
Welcome back. I'm Andres Armenta with your news headlines. The Dow closed down nearly 700 points today, sending many stocks plummeting, including the stocks of a tech company with ties to Arizona. Nvidia sank after it said U.S. restrictions on exports to China will cost the company billions in revenue. The company makes chips that will be used in artificial intelligence computers, which are being produced at the Taiwan Semiconductor plant in Phoenix. But the U.S. government has said it will restrict exports of the chips to China, which Nvidia says will cost the company more than $5 billion. And another impact of the tariff war, Hong Kong has suspended its postal service for packages coming in and out of the United States. The decision comes after President Donald Trump eliminated an exemption for items posted from Hong Kong to the U.S. Hong Kong plans to stop accepting packages transported by sea immediately and will stop taking packages by plane on April 27th. Only packages will be affected by this decision, while letters and other postal items containing documents will not be impacted. And President Trump just signed a multi-part executive order targeted at lowering drug prices and reduce costs for Medicare. However, the order won't immediately lower the high cost of health care in the U.S. The mandate also targets a Biden-era initiative that allows Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices. This comes right after President Trump applied tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals that could raise the prices of medication for consumers. According to the American Cancer Society, African Americans have the highest mortality rate for cancer. Cronkite News reporter Alana Goodman has more on how screening could potentially save lives.
Cancer doesn't discriminate is a common phrase, but it can be misleading.
Death rates for many cancers are highest in the African American community, here in Arizona as well.
African Americans in Arizona are experiencing higher mortality rates compared to all other race and ethnicity groups, and this is on a national scale and in Arizona. And there are many factors that can impact cancer mortality rates, such as lack of access to care and lack of screening options.
The mortality rate overall for African Americans with cancer in Arizona is 146 deaths per 100,000. African American women also have the highest rate of breast cancer deaths, according to the Arizona Department of Health Services. Experts say delayed diagnosis and lack of access to care and screenings are among the causes for the disparity.
I'm standing right outside of Cancer Support Community Arizona, where everyday patients turn to find support against the fight of cancer, including groups and resources.
Cancer Support Community offers programs and services to all the communities, but especially with a focus on our underserved communities, because it's so important for everyone to have equitable access to care.
Awareness also plays an important role in combating cancer disparities.
The meetings that the Coalition of Blacks Against Cancer provide are important for community education, because education is power, knowledge is power. And so we want people to understand what are the risk factors for cancer, how the symptoms can lead you to an earlier diagnosis, and what to do if you have symptoms that may need medical attention, or what to do if you're actually diagnosed with cancer.
Increased awareness of risk factors and symptoms is crucial to fighting cancer in the African American community. Having support of others is also key to many patients.
This group has really helped me a lot. I'm new to Arizona. I've only been here 3 years, and when I found this organization, just being around other survivors, being able to share our stories with the fighters who currently are in the fight, who was just terrified and not really knowing what maybe the next steps are. So helping to be that support to others has been just amazing.
Cancer support groups offer a lifeline to patients and survivors by coming together to support one another. In Phoenix, Alana Goodman, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Alana. That's all for news headlines today. Back to Jacob and Matt.
Coming up next, a 10-year-old California student prodigy is making waves with their wits.
Yeah, and this is interesting. She's not like every other elementary school student. She made the big leap that even some adults can't say they've accomplished. When we return, see how this girl's unique ability gave her a head start before everyone else her age.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen. When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there in that moment. You know that you've reached them.
3, 2, 1.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @CutASU.
Welcome back. A 10-year-old girl in California is making headlines for her unique and gifted skill.
That's right. Her name is Elisa, and instead of enjoying recess at school, she's getting ready to graduate college. She started doing algebra problems when she was 2 years old and kept advancing past her peers ever since she enrolled at a community college in San Bernardino County when she was only 8 years old, and is set to graduate next month. She's now waiting to hear back from Stanford to see if she was accepted.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Matt Ross.
And I'm Jacob Seaver. Thank you for joining us this evening.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.